my first waiver wire option is Xavier Tillman of the Memphis Grizzlies. Also Santi Aldama, but we have yet to see him play. Xavier Tillman's 53% rostered right now. Obviously, with the Steven Adams out for the season news, he got scooped up very quickly. But we have Santi Aldama still only 21% rostered. Like I mentioned, Steven Adams out for the whole year. Aldama's dealing with an ankle injury, hasn't played, won't play today, Friday. Tillman, in his first game in the opener, 17 points, 12 boards, 4 assists, 3 steals, 1 block. This Memphis team is pretty thin in terms of depth. Not thin. They have David Roddy on the roster. But Tillman, we saw him in the playoffs last year. Like, we know Tillman is good, and he's going to get maybe 30 minutes a game. Maybe they pull back a little bit when Santi is there, but this is just a clear ad for, pretty much every league.
Fans, please, if you like our videos, please hit like and subscribe below. My first free agent pickup for the season, Chicago Bull Coby White, who's 41% rostered as of yesterday, and mostly because he is the starting point guard for your Chicago Bulls. Chicago really didn't have any off-season roster changes of note, and they were really spinning their wheels last year with Dosunmu and Caruso at the point guard. So they're going to experiment with higher scorer Coby White, which I think is a solid move. There's just a lot more upside to White. He's never going to be an 8 assists per game guy, but they're going to give him a long run as a starting point guard. He obviously has the higher draft pedigree. And to me, point guards are always in short supply off the waiver wire. Grab Coby White.
My first ad is rookie center for the Dallas Mavericks, Dereck Lively. Dereck Lively had a lot of preseason helium. He started pretty much the entire preseason for the Mavs, and then he surprisingly did not start the season opener. They went with Ken Kreit's favorite, Maximilian Kleber, instead. But Lively did start the second half, and he played really well. 16 points, 10 rebounds, 1 steal, 1 block. He was, 2 for 3 from the line, 7 for 8 from the floor. Lively's not gonna stretch the floor. His field goal percentage is going to be astronomically high because every shot he takes is going to be a putback or a lob. He gives Luka and Kyrie that lob threat that they really, Luka hasn't really had in his career. And I think he's going to stick in the starting lineup. After getting the nod as the starter in the second half of the opener against the Spurs, I fully expect him to start moving forward unless Jason Kidd pulls some kind of weird shenanigans. But Lively, I would argue, Tillman or Lively, depending on your appetite, those are probably the top 2 pickups to target in this free agent period.
My second waiver wire pickup, which is Jalen Johnson of the Atlanta Hawks. 32% rostered. Atlanta's forward minutes after they traded away John Collins this offseason, pretty up for grabs. Preseason didn't really tell us that much. It remained a bit confusing. Saddiq Bey actually got the start in the opener against the Hornets, but Bey, DeAndre Hunter, Jalen Johnson, they all got between, I think, 29 and 31 minutes. So they all played the same amount. In 29 minutes, Jalen Johnson had 21 points on 13 shots, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, and a block. Johnson is an amazing athlete, like a freak athlete. So his defensive upside is pretty high, and he's a way better passer than people expect. He was excellent passing in the preseason. We saw that in the playoff series against Ken's Boston Celtics. He had some nice moments as well. It seemed like Atlanta really liked him there. So I think he's worth taking a chance on if he's going to continue to play roughly 30 minutes a game.
Cam Thomas of the Brooklyn Nets, who some of us are also wagering on to be a 6th man of the year, he's going to offer points, and more points. You may have noticed he had 36 points coming off the bench. That was the most off the bench points, I think, for any NBA player in a season opener. And it wasn't like it was an ugly volume. He shot 13 of 21, 8 from 11 from the free throw line, 2 of 5 threes. He had 23 points per 36 minutes last year for the Nets. And this second unit is filled with defenders like Royce O'Neal and Dorian Finney-Smith. I think, they're setting up Cam Thomas to be their instant offense off the bench guy, a Vinny the Microwave Johnson type. So if you need points and threes, I love Cam Thomas. Yesterday he was 41% rostered on Yahoo. Get him in your free agent waiver claim queue.
The Strus is loose. Big game in Cleveland. In his Cleveland debut, Max Strus started as small forward for the Cavs in that Brooklyn Nets game. He played 39 minutes, 27 points, 9 for 17 from the floor, 7 for 13 from downtown, 2 for 2 from the line, 12 rebounds, 1 steal, 1 block. Now, this is,
no Jared Allen in that game. So
no Jared Allen.
For grabs, yeah.
A lot of boards up for grabs. Isaac Okoro received the spot start in place of Jared Allen. Max Strus should be locked in as this team's starting small forward and receive heavy minutes all season long. I do expect he'll have a slightly bigger role than he had in Miami last year. They paid him the money. They received 0 production from their small forward spot last year.
0.
Now, the caveat being that season debut with the Cavs will be Max Strus's best fantasy game of the season.
It will be. It really will.
Putting it out there. Yeah. But
he's not going to have another 12 rebound game the rest of the season.
No.
I would wait.
And he's only going to hit 7 threes maybe one other time this year. But will he average 2.5 3-pointers per game? Will score you 12 to 13 points? Grab a decent amount of rebounds for a small forward? Yes. Yes, he will. Yes. I like Max Strus. I liked him a lot in deeper formats as a late round dart, and I do think he's worth a look, especially if you're desperate for 3-pointers.
Now, Alex, I believe you stay in Cleveland for your first long shot free agent pick of the year.
I am. It's not a super long shot, but Caris LeVert of the Cleveland Cavaliers, again, 17% roster on Yahoo. Nothing out of the ordinary from LeVert in the opener, honestly. Like 31 minutes, 24% usage rate, put up like 11 points, 5 assists. But
5 dimes are nice.
5 dimes are nice, but he can pass. I mean, this is like a process thing. Like he just needs to be rostered in deep leagues. Like if you're in a 16-team league and Caris LeVert is not on a roster, that's just not right. Because he's in the rotation already. Like even when nobody's hurt, the complete rotation, he's playing 26 to 30 minutes a game. He's a high-level 6-man for them. And then if Mitchell or Garland gets hurt, he becomes like the secondary playmaker. So I just think in deep leagues, like he's such a clear ad. It's not a crazy upside pick or anything like that. But he should be rostered. Ken, let's just go to your long shot.
I'm going to go to Oklahoma City and suggest Isaiah Joe, who's 1% rostered. I think the Thunder are grooming Joe to be their points off the bench guy in much the way we talked about Cam Thomas. This team needs outside shooting, and Joe shot 41% from behind the arc last season. He had 15 points, 5 boards, and 3 triples Wednesday at Chicago. That was in his 22 minutes, led the bench for the Thunder. If you need those Max Strus and Cam Thomas categories of points and triples, but those two are not available, look to Isaiah Joe for the Thunder. Shannon, give us your long shot pick, who's supposed to be rostered in less than 25% of leagues.
Yeah, he's right around 30%. He was closer to 25 when I made this. It was before last night's game. Come on, give me a break. Josh Okogie for the Phoenix Suns, starting small forward. He's locked into it's pretty simple math here. Do I think Okogie is worth a roster spot in 10-teamers? No. 12-teamers? Probably not, unless it's a deeper bench. But deeper formats than that, yes. He's locked in the starting lineup for the Suns. He's playing minutes. Beal and Booker are both dealing with what I presume are minor injuries right now, so they both sat Thursday's game against the Lakers. Okogie's not going to light up the box score, but he can give you decent production, hit some threes, grab some rebounds, hopefully get some defensive stats. He's averaging, he basically has 1 block and one steal through 2 games right now. but the three's been there, the rebound's been there. Those hustle stats are what he's known for. Yeah. So as long as he's getting 33 minutes per, I'm going to roster him in like a 14-team league.
I watched basically half of both of those first two Suns games. And like watching the Suns, it's so clear how crucial he is to what they do. Like the hustle, you mentioned the hustle. He is flying in for offensive rebounds like he's Dennis Rodman. He is just a pure hustle guy, will hit some threes once in a while. Like he is so locked in for them. I just can't imagine anybody taking his minutes.
He's the star complement. Someone has to play someone has to take that defensive lead hustle role when you've got a Durant and Booker and Beal in there.
He is definitely not losing minutes to Eric Gordon or Grayson Allen once this team's healthy.
I texted this to Waylon. Gordon looks chubby, or chubbier, I should say.
I think
he's always, he's a little...
And I have no room to talk, but just saying.
Grayson Allen is just, finally hitting that stage of his evolution where he just is becoming Ted Cruz.
Right.
He's the towel waver there at the corner. Could leave for Acapulco at any moment.